Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is our 68th episode. We are excited today. As you can see at the bottom, this is 68. We have Melanie Richards all the way in New York. I'm excited. I believe the second person from New York who was on the show a couple of episodes ago, we had Dylan from New York also, and he does video games. Amazing guy. And without further ado, let's bring our guest. We never wait. We like to bring him on as soon as possible because we're excited to learn our new guests. On this show, we always have new guests and sometimes a returning guests. So let's bring on Melanie to the stage. How are you today, Melanie? Welcome.
I am great. Thank you for your warm welcome, Omar. Thank you, Jackie, in the house. I am with family, so we've got a little bit of background as we're celebrating birthdays, but I cannot thank you enough, Omar, for your warm welcome.
Amazing, amazing. I'm excited. We booked this weeks ago, and I've said Melanie's an exciting person, fun person, and amazing to have you here. I actually want to show a clip from one of your shows to the audience before we get started. Would that be fine? I picked a random one here, and hopefully it's something that you like. Okay, let me just pull up and share my screen. Okay, we'll go here, and then show us a clip of it, and then we'll talk about it. Sharing now. Okay, there we go. Okay, we'll play a clip.
Hey, everybody, you are in for a treat. Guess who is returning to join us? She is
Surprise!
back. Woo! With her pom pom, Shel Shapiro, our LinkedIn cheerleader. She says she's yours, but I think of her as our LinkedIn cheerleader, and I can say that, Ted.
Amazing, amazing. That you're such a cheerful person. When you see that, what comes to your mind?
I'm smiling because Shel Shapiro almost single-handedly helped encourage me to bring out the pom-poms. You know, we like to show up and support people, just like amazing Stacy and Jackie who are joining us. You know, we're here to help each other light it up. And what I appreciated is Shel really helped me learn to relax and lean in on LinkedIn. She actually helped uh, start a musical theme behind our second year anniversary, and I've really leaned into it. So I greatly appreciate that amazing woman, as well as Stacy and Jackie, who are in the house with us today.
Amazing, amazing. Let's say hi to Stacy. Let's say hi to Jackie, who will be on the show in March, by the way. She will be on the program. And then I'm assuming this is you as well. We're going to talk about your business and all that. But we'll start out with some fun questions, and we'll start you making you comfortable, and then we'll get into your business later. Okay. All right. First of all, state your name and where are you from?
My name is Melanie Richards, and I am a girl from the Bronx. But I
The
now
Bronx.
live in the Hudson Valley, about where New York turns west. Put the push pin in, that's where we live.
Amazing. So you've lived there most of your life, or all of your life, right?
No, most actually started in the Bronx and then went to college in DC and then Westchester and now in the Hudson Valley. We've been in the Hudson Valley about 29 years now.
Amazing. All right. First question. Okay, I'm relaxing in a hammock in Hawaii when a waiter approaches me with this. What would you want him to give you?
So I love this. There might be two things. So the first choice would be a blue margarita.
But on his death certificate,
Okay.
it says
And the
he
second
was
one?
alive.
And the second choice would be a glass of prosecco.
Amazing, amazing.
Not mixing them together, but those would be the two choices.
By the way, have you ever been to Hawaii?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we went on a cruise. We went on a pre-trip in Maui. We went on that heavenly road to Hana, which is not so heavenly if you can get car sick.
Ah,
And Haleakala, I'm messing it up. There's a place that the riders ride up on their bikes
yeah.
near sunrise. You can see sunrise almost as if you're looking into the clouds.
Oh,
And
amazing.
then we did a cruise of the islands. The one I really missed was the Big Island because
wow.
our cruise ended there and I was half asleep. So I ended up that was my day to sleep 8 hours and recover.
Amazing. Is Hawaii as small as it looks like on the map, or
Yes, but what I would really encourage you is, as we're talking about Hawaii, go to Tahiti. We went to Tahiti first.
Tahiti? Okay.
Tahiti, French Polynesia, Moorea, Bora
Uh-huh.
Bora.
Yeah.
The water is the color of the font on your screen, which happens to be my favorite color.
Oh,
So thank you
wow.
for that. Mhm.
Amazing. That was a coincidence or not a
Blue margarita, no salt. Also, I forgot, Jackie, no salt.
All right, Jackie likes that too as well. Okay, let's continue to the next one. Okay, if I would learn a language, what would it be? What would you want to learn? Some new language you haven't learned before.
I took French in junior high school, but I wish I spoke Spanish fluently, and I'm ready to learn.
Spanish. Okay, why Spanish?
Partially, one of my amazing clients in a group, Latinos in Business Succeeding Together.
Yeah.
So wonderful, warm, welcoming, and I love going to Puerto Rico. We have a good friend there. It would be an honor to go down and surprise him. And we have good friends who just, other than me saying hola
Uh-huh.
and
Amazing.
huepa, they would like me to learn new words. I have a good friend who calls me the gringa.
Amazing.
And I want to learn, when I learn the language, I want to learn how to dance salsa, samba, merengue. Let's go for it.
I mean, so the interesting thing about what you said is because of their kindness and their openness made you want to learn Spanish, right? That's amazing. That's how it should be. Like if you see the action of somebody, they're an inspiration to you, and you want to do something in their culture, and makes you like, wow, what are they doing? Why are they this amazing? I want to do something like them, right? Would you say so?
Yes, definitely. And I think also, as you would say, the invitation just in general to really explore. I love taking French. We loved our French teacher in junior high school. We all had a crush on him. But I wish I had also considered taking Spanish.
Amazing. I'm originally from East Europe, Bosnia, so I took that for about 5 years during COVID time. It was all online. And then after time, it's like, who's using it? I'm trying to learn it. You just lose interest. But I kind of remember some of the words and stuff. But it was an interesting setup. Me and the teacher were all on Zoom. We were just doing it on Zoom, classroom Zoom, or one-on-one. So it was an interesting 5 years. I was taking it, and then I went there to meet my teachers as well over a year ago. So yeah, amazing. Okay, let's continue. Okay. You've coached leaders for 40 years based on your bio. What's the funniest? Did they really just say that moment when you're doing a Zoom call? I'm sure you have one of those moments.
So on a Zoom, so I've been on Zoom for over 10 decades. And I think the funniest thing that I've ever witnessed on a Zoom call was a wonderful leader who didn't have, I would say, didn't have our filters, shall we say, from a perspective of expressing themselves.
In terms of words, like filter.
In terms of words, in terms of not necessarily giving others space to express themselves.
Yeah.
This person, we were on a call with their team, and every single person on the team, when they spoke, this person interrupted them. And the
Wow.
team members were kind of like this. Their leader would interrupt them,
Yeah.
and they would turn off their video. And I think that would have to be the funniest thing. That series of what they said. I just and it continued. We actually ended up in a private leadership conversation afterwards. And I asked them, I said, how often? I said, have you heard of the 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
And I think, fortunately, we had the conversation privately.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, when you have a group of people, you don't have one person there who bends the rules or tries not to do that. I've been in that situation in terms of training. Like I had a training class, and so in that case, you'll always have one or two people who think they're right, they're always right, and you're wrong, no matter what the rules are. And so you have to like handle it in a certain way, and so it doesn't go in a escalate the situation in a kind way, and that always happens. So appreciate your thoughts on that. Let's continue. Okay, now if trust were a dance move from the Bronx, which one would it be, and why would you have such rhythm?
So, if trust were a dance move from the Bronx, I would trust would be either the cha-cha or the samba. And I say samba from the perspective of samba requires a tremendous amount of practice and a tremendous amount of openness and trust between the partners as they're moving, communicating, as they're navigating, their dance journeys. I would say the cha-cha because trust can be basic, because some people show up as trust willing. And they show up as trust willing, and we think of that. If we watch our children and watching kids dance, that dance of kind of the sailor, that would be kind of cool.
That's like the sailor. Would you demonstrate for us? No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, I was at a birthday party yesterday for our youngest family member at 1 year old. Their dance is very different. They're dancing the sailor dance.
Interesting. A 1-year-old, amazing. I have a nephew. He'll be 3 in May, and so he's at that moody state, but also I want to do my own thing, like kind of thing. He's at that age.
They're walking at 1 minute, and next thing they all fall down and they're crawling. So that's what I meant about the sailor.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's awesome. All right, thank you for the share. Let's continue. Okay, now what's a remarkable cuisine from, I guess, New York, meant to be for the country, but something from, let's change it up in terms of a cuisine in your state.
So some would say, and I'm going to give you a cuisine from Mom, because I learned this is his mom's recipe. And hey, Jedi J, welcome. A dish that Mom taught me about, because Mom is from the South, a dish we make called red rice and sausage. And anybody actually on the Northeast, I need Carolina sausage. So if you find some, it's in a yellow box, and it's red rice and sausage. But I've modified it now, so it starts with multicolored peppers and onions, rice, tomato paste, crushed tomatoes, diced tomatoes, and sausage. So we call it red rice and sausage. And what I love is it's a one-pot dish.
Mm-hmm.
One-pot dish for that, challenging cook or the small kitchen. Hey Leslie, warm welcome.
Oh, amazing. I want to say hi to Jay and then hi to Leslie, and I'll talk about that more a little bit. Thank you, Leslie, for joining us. She does a show on Mondays and Fridays at 11 Eastern. She moved it 1 hour back. Check it out. We've been friends for a while. She's amazing. So that recipe, was it hands down from your mom, your grandmother, or something that you came up with? Basically.
Actually, it's a generational recipe, and I added the diced tomatoes.
Yeah.
I added the peppers. I added the onions, and sometimes I put crushed tomatoes. Those are our tweaks as we prepare it by the tin.
That's amazing. That's very important, right? Do you think it's very important to keep that the family culture from what people did? How important is that to people?
It's fundamental. As I'm sitting as my mom is in the background speaking with our cousin about 8 generations of our family. Mom on a sabbatical went back 8 generations.
Oh.
So she is trying to locate one of the matriarchs of our family, and most of the records years ago they're set from the lens of the patriarchs.
Oh.
So they're stuck on where they can find information about relatives. And also during the during the perspective of slavery, there's an 1880 census, and the census was burned.
Oh,
And
yes.
yep, so they're stuck on information pre-census.
That's amazing that you're going to trace back and try to get where your heritage is from. And that's, yeah, a lot of times that does happen. There are some archives that have been burned and stuff like that for different cultures as well. And so, how are you supposed to find that? There are maybe some other traces out there, so keep looking. Is there any places that you guys have a heritage to, or which location have you guys discovered, or your mom discovered?
It's big because mom started on her sabbatical. So our mom's my great aunt will be 90 this year, and a lot of she's the youngest in her family. She's also a rock star, and their lens of going through records, actually burial records, wills, all sorts of things at the National Archive. Really
Uh-huh.
grateful, and you would say it ties in. One of the things I loved was going with mom back home, as she would call it, to Edisto Island. The ladies there prepare like a crab dish.
Uh-huh.
It's all inside of a crab. It's like a stuffed crab, and each woman takes a different turn. As there are tours going around, you can pick up a crab.
Amazing. So Edisto Island, I'm looking at it right now. Where is that located? That is in South Carolina. Is that right?
Yep, it's in South. Yep, it's in South Carolina. Yep, mom and family, a lot of cousins. They just came back from another family reunion during the summer. Almost 90 some odd degrees, a big change from our 15-degree temperature right now.
Amazing. I would like to show our viewers a little bit about it here. Hopefully this looks correct.
Actually, what I remember was the beach. I brought back sand dollars. I had never seen a sand dollar on a beach before.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
and near where they're home, there's also a tree. It's been there forever called Angel Oak.
Aha. Wow. That's awesome.
We had
Okay, let's continue. Amazing information about that. Let me bring in the questions here. Okay, the next one. Okay, you assessed others in accessing their unseen potentials. What is one of their own intangible qualities that others often recognize before you do? These are deep questions.
I think you would say the energy. I didn't realize, in the beginning when we start networking and when we're working in operations, and basically I spent most of my career supporting salespeople. So basically supporting leaders. The one thing I didn't realize is the energy part. I called it return on energies, and now I'm calling it kind of return on sustainable energies, or from the positive intelligence lens, return on sage energies. But I think other people see my energy before I realize that intangible part. We can feel it. You walk into a room, you feel welcome, or someone says hi, or you walk into a room and you know immediately that there's conflict, that maybe it's a space that's a little less welcoming for you.
Yeah, amazing how you can tell about that. Like we go in and you can see who you can vibe with, right? It's awesome. Amazing. Okay, let's continue. Okay. If someone invited me or you, for example, to act in a movie, what would be your role and what would you play? I know you have a little bit of celebrity, a little bit of influence in terms of being seen with different celebrities. So this might be a good question for you.
So I love Ruby D. Watching Ruby D in A Raisin in the Sun
Yeah.
inspired me to pursue acting for a very short period of time. I really learned later that writing is the hat that I should have embraced. I think I would love to play, and you'll laugh, I love the Greek tragedies years ago. There was a scene from Antigone, and I never could get it right as a kid. I think I'd, through this lens now of decades later, I think I'd like to try that lens of Antigone in a deep, from a Greek tragedy.
That's amazing. That's awesome. That would be interesting to try. Right. Yeah. that they have a different,
I
interesting
still didn't
approach
find
to
much
them, and
about
so
you around.
why not? What was your favorite in high school or college? If you read any of those Greek strategy books, or maybe Shakespeare as well, any of them ring a bell
So
to
in
you?
high school we read. I loved English literature. I loved A Tale of Two Cities, which
Around.
eventually became a movie.
Yep.
And for color girls who have considered suicide because the rainbow isn't enough, there's a line in there that always stays with me. I found God in myself. I found God in myself. I found God in myself, and I loved her fiercely. So I've read a lot of plays, and I want to thank you for reminding me to curl up and check one out shortly.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. Jackie comes back here, says, "Does the flowers? I wonder if you were in part of it. We usually had sunshine yesterday, and so far today too. All right, awesome. And it's still cold here. Oh, exactly. So I mean, Phoenix hasn't been that cold. It's been kind of right now 65, but it's kind of like not as. So we're gonna have a hot summer for sure, probably. Yeah. So it hasn't been that hot, that cold. I mean, okay. Now,
Jackie has snow. Jackie's mentioning Leslie Snow.
right.
Leslie has snow. She's got gorgeous pictures of the snow.
She does. Yes, I saw the pictures there, definitely. But here we don't have much here. Okay, we have a couple more questions about you here now. What is a hybrid event strategist? What does that mean to people in
So
layman's?
I started out in gifts and incentives many years ago of supporting salespeople and people to learn how to differentiate themselves as they're using gifts and
Oh,
gifts
I see.
around events. And I found an opportunity at a trade show we attended in 2003. They invited you to start exploring, do you know what makes you different? And finally, in 2008, I started following an amazing influencer at a promotional products trade show called Cliff Quick Sell. And Cliff said, add something to the gifts and incentives because our industry is going the way of healthcare and the way of banking, and you'll be out of business shortly. So I started doing trade show expo boot camps and started helping people how to differentiate themselves when setting up a display. And in 2006, I started with the live events. So in 2008, we went live, and around 11 years ago, we went virtual. So
2008.
hybrid events are a combination of live and virtual. And thanks for asking. And the conversion part is people are trying to either attract donors, attract team members, attract ideal future clients. And that's the conversion part. I am not a sales coach.
Got you, got you. Amazing. All right. Here's one interesting one here. So tell us about this Fearless Hudson Valley and moment. Do you want to clearly show why Melanie is president? So tell us about that. I know in your profile it talks about your part of this Fearless Hudson. What is it about, and when you started
So
it?
I'm honored to be on the board of Fearless Hudson Valley. Kellyanne Costellarier is our amazing executive director. She's about to receive an award at the end of this month for being the best not-profit place to work. Fearless is an agency that advocates, provides education, and non-residential and residential support for victims and survivors of intimate partner violence, teen dating violence, and human trafficking. Fearless is a passion. My nana was a domestic violence. Leslie, you're hearing my mom and my cousin. My cousin decided to call mom, and it's mom's birthday week. And Leslie, I warned Omar, you will continue, unfortunately, to hear our vibrant family member who is about to celebrate a birthday and just celebrated her great grandchild's first birthday yesterday.
Amazing. Well, that means that there is actually action. There's live people, so that's amazing to have that in the background. I taped a show one time, and I had background noise, and after it, he was like, "Oh, that's amazing," but he didn't edit it. But yeah, it's good to have that. Have the background. There's actually something. There's live music. So continue, please. Yes, thank you.
Fearless will celebrate their 40th anniversary at their Celebration of Hope Gala, which will be in New York. Come dance with us at a black tie gala as we raise funds. My nana was a domestic violence survivor, and we have a cousin who lost her battle my cousin lost her battle before the age of 18
And in
in
the
college.
census, they have
So raising funds
living together
for
is,
domestic violence, for
a
intimate
younger
partner
Louisa
violence, for teen dating violence, for the
at
education and
the
advocacy
1880
is really important. We answered, and last year
William
they
Elliott
answered
Census.
almost
Look up William Elliott.
12,000 hotline
There's a
calls
lot of-
in
about
2
it.
counties.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. That's awesome. It's much needed, definitely, this kind of work for sure. And we have one more question, and then we'll ask you a couple of questions to get to know you in a short way. Okay, this is a question for everybody. If I were to create a product or a concept to benefit humanity, what would it be? There were 67 people ahead of you, all came up with unique answers. What would Melanie want to come up with? And does this turn on the CC captions now? All right.
He is so precocious.
I would create
These kids of
a
today,
kit
do you see the little
that
babies?
people were able to use. One of my collaborators was mentioning, because of the things that were happening in the South with the snow coming, there was a food shortage. I would create a global food bank, a place where there's like a box in our town someone has, where people put canned goods, they put pasta, they put staple goods. It's just like a box on the street, and you're able to just stop by the box as opposed to going to a pantry. But because of the lack of scarcity and the lack of food, I would create that so that no child ever goes hungry.
Exactly. No child, and also the homeless people. The other day, I have a person who was on the show. They help out people in Chicago, homeless people. And so it's sad because they go ahead and take the people and give them food, but they're out in the snow, and they're all sleeping there. I'm thinking to them and to myself, why not build some kind of an open house where they can actually stay there, like a storage, stay out of the heat, or the cold. I mean, sorry, the heat, the cold, and also the heat. You never know in the summertime. But that would be something for a good project to do, to keep in there, rather than them sleeping on the snow, having the covers, and then buying them stuff while they're sleeping on the snow, the homeless people, stuff like that. And that's needed, but I guess it's more of a higher level. So, but people can, I'm thinking, why not buy a home that's empty or someplace with a cover, and just they can sit there. It's a lot warmer than being outside, even though maybe there's no AC. It doesn't have to have electricity. It could be just a storage space. They can just settle in there and then hand them the food. What do you think?
I do think it's a great idea, because I think also that's one of the things about being on Fearless. When on the board, there's a pantry, a small pantry within the agency where moms can come and pick up essentials and feminine hygiene products and diapers and all sorts of things. But I think I had no awareness of the need from a food scarcity perspective. Going to high school in Manhattan, you would see homeless people in the streets, but it wasn't. And going to work, I would see homeless people in Grand Central Station while traveling. But the consciousness of the people who are really going without. I'm really grateful that Fearless helped me understand, through partnerships with pantries, partnerships with humane pet societies. We don't even think about the number of people who are in need. So thank you for that great question.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and then also, I mean, has that changed from when you were in high school to now in terms of who homeless are? Because I always hear that most of the time, they don't have any drug addiction or drug issues. A lot of them have financial, something that caused them to go in that condition there. And so, has that changed from your experience in seeing homeless people?
Over the decades, I
Yeah.
think we have a lack of awareness about the number of people that we see who are homeless. They're, some cases, well showered, they're well shaved, they're well taken care of, they're well dressed. You have no idea that person who is a colleague, who in some cases is a leader in your organization, may be living in their car or someplace else. We just have no idea. There was a woman years ago, I never forget her, in Grand Central Station. Her children were immaculate. She was immaculate dressed. My consciousness that she was homeless was one day the conductor, who I always would talk to on the train. He walked up to her and brought her a bag. He kept an eye on her children when she took it back to secure it. After that, I started bringing her different things from home, not from a perspective of support, but a perspective of really seeing them. We don't realize. You see the people sometimes who, when you stop your car, are trying to, wash your window in the cities, and that was the irritation. But I think the reminder, this is just another human who has incredible needs, and the number of children I learned years ago in our county where we lived, through Leadership Orange in 2010, the average age of a homeless person was 5 years old.
Wow.
And that was in 2010.
Exactly. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Jackie says, appreciate you helping in so many ways. I'm sure this is for you, Melanie. We all help out in a certain way, but definitely. I mean, if you see somebody struggling outside, if you see them, they need help. The other day, a family member was walking outside and somebody asked for a hamburger. They bought them a hamburger. He turned to be a homeless guy. And so, stuff like that. Sometimes if you buy them food or buy them something rather than giving them money, it's a little better than, because you don't know what they're going to use that money for. It could be for good or for bad. But, it's always good to help out what's needed. So help the community, help out. Tell us your closing thoughts, Melanie. Appreciate you being on the program. And then you can, I guess, start with how is something important to helping humanity, and then continue to your closing thoughts.
Stacy Casson being on. I had the pleasure of meeting Stacy Casson last spring, and the pleasure of meeting Christy in person in Florida. And I think that's the one thing I would leave you with. As we are on social media, and some people are active, others are inactive, others are what they like to call us the silent generation. That was me. And I think the thing I would love to encourage is, somewhere besides going to check on a neighbor, an elder, call somebody you haven't spoken to a really long time. Bridge the gap of the opportunity to meet someone in person that you met online. I had the opportunity, besides meeting Stacy last year and Christy last summer, Lachelle Atkins, America's Supermom, the 15 children. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was on the show too, by the way. So if you want to check out our show, I want to meet her definitely.
Yes. Oh gosh, Lachelle, we had the pleasure of meeting two of her kids and her mom and some members of her Elephant Strategy Club.
Wow.
Bridge that gap to eliminate isolation. That would be my invitation. Some cases it's not welcome. Some people are, I'm an introvert. I'm a trained ambivert from years as the daughter of a scholar. I'm a trained ambivert. And just lean in when you can. And just like Jackie does in her profession, like others do, from a healthcare support, from a mental health support, the awareness, do it absolutely gently and with great care. And check out Stacy Casson, the Queen of Joy, and her beautiful family. Check out Jackie, who has a fabulous show on Mondays and Wednesdays. Check out Leslie Flowers. Check out some of these amazing people who are joining us today, including Jedi J, who will join me on May 4th. May the 4th be with you, Jay.
Amazing. Yeah, he's an amazing guy too, definitely. Thank you for joining us, all these people, wonderful people as well, and they're awesome. Actually, I want to give you some applause here for our wonderful people. Melanie does a lot of wonderful things and hopefully good advice. Yes, meet the people in person. That's what I did in 2024. I met 25 people plus, and amazing to meet the connections. And so now I'm going to be doing that. I got the new job. Now I'm just focusing on that. And then also traveling when I can, definitely. So I have some people in all of the New England area. The start at the top, from Vermont all the way down. Why not end up with the shell down at the bottom in Atlanta? So that would be great. See another 10 people there. So and then do some filmings or whatever with them. And I appreciate you being on the program. Next week, we have a chef in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And so we're going to be talking to him about starting a business, a restaurant, and cooking for different people there. It'll be an interesting one. Hopefully he does show up as planned. And it'll be an amazing one. Stay tuned for that. Appreciate you again being here. Melanie, last minute word for everybody.
May you have a peaceful day filled with blessings, opportunities, and possibilities. And thank you, Omar, for the chance to join you today. And as Leslie Flowers is on closed caption, we're wishing Mom a happy birthday this week and
Oh, yes.
grateful for her fire and her energy.
Happy
So-
birthday to you, Mom. How old is she? She said she's 90.
Mom's age. Mom told her age yesterday. She actually told mine. Mom is younger than her brother, who will turn 90 this summer. How about
Amazing. My grandmother is about to turn 93 in a couple of weeks, so in mid-February, and she's going strong. So she's amazing. You know, people.
that? Today would have been my Nana's birthday. So happy heavenly birthday. We'll leave on that. And
Amazing.
for those who are choosing to celebrate Black History Month,
Yeah.
let's be careful out there.
It is amazing. I'm going to play the outro. Stay with me there for a second. And guys, thank you for joining us for episode 68. We're almost approaching to the 100th episode. In that case, we're going to do something very special and spectacular. Maybe a scene from every guest. And here's the outro. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you.